Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680.
Hey, yo, what's good, my peeps? What's up? Welcome to Startup Masters. That's right. This is a place where if you're thinking about starting up a business, or you've already started a business, or you just feel like you might be in between or at a crossroad and you need something that's going to propel you and motivate you and inspire you to keep moving, so you don't cut up that knee down to the white meat, team no white meat here, you came to the right place, all right? I'm your girl, Kalia Guillory, also known as KG. I am your host here because I am here to share with you and get these gems that we get from all of our guests from around the world. Speaking of around the world, we got somebody that's Skyping in today. That's how serious it is, why we want you guys to win big time in the big way. I know that's dope, right? But, hey, G, what's good with you, man?
What's good? I'm just happy to be here.
Me
once
too.
again, back in the door. And for all those that are watching us right now, what's up? Welcome back once again to Startup Masters. I'm your co-host, Gary Lee, also known as G Hawkins. Of course, you can find me anywhere online: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. We want to say what's up immediately to those that are watching via Facebook Live right now. Now, remember, we're only on Facebook for about 15 minutes just to give you a small taste of what the show is. Just a little taste of what the show is. But you've got to go over and subscribe at all our major platforms when we're ready to rock and roll, so that you can get that on SoundCloud, you can get that on iTunes, you can get that on Stitcher, and of course you can get that on Google Play as well. But we've got a great show today. I'm excited.
Me too. And you know, for those people who might not be able to actually watch later on, they want to get some of it now, we also do a recap. G and I do a recap at the end of the show, so catch us. You can also follow me on any social media platform: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. That's at KOG Speaks, and we'll be recapping some of those gems, those nuggets that we know you're gonna want for sure. All right, so G,
What's up?
let's go ahead on and do it.
You
Let's
ready
do
to rock
what we
this out?
came to do.
I'm ready to rock this out.
Let's go.
So let's do it. So here's the thing, peeps. I've always been fascinated with authors. One of the reasons why, because I think it just takes a lot of dexterity, a lot of tenacity. It just takes a very interesting person that can sit down and put a combination of thoughts together from front to back.
For sure.
So when I met this young lady, just out at an event and found out she was an author, I was like, this is somebody I want to have come on this show to have this conversation. Then I saw the title of the book.
Come on.
I said, well, this is bound to be interesting.
It's gotta be.
Talking about a female's journey, but talking about the dreams of a female's journey. But and just so happen, these are dreams that are larger, that are bigger than Texas.
Come on,
So I'd like
Texas.
to introduce you all to the author known as Rahkal C. Shelton with Dreams Larger than Texas. Let's talk about it. Rahkal, what's up? You are in the building with us. What's going on?
What's up? Well, I'm not physically in the building, but I'm there via technology and Skype activity. Thank you guys so much for having me. It has been a minute since I had a chance and opportunity to talk about my project, Dreams Bigger Than Texas. I like to say, if you're a fan of The Wood, Crooklyn, The Coldest Winter Ever, The Pursuit of Happiness of Being Mary Jane, this book is for you. It's the story of a young woman coming of age, overcoming adversities, her strive towards success, growth into purpose, and womanhood. It's a hood story. It's a love story. It's a story of hope, strength, and tenacity, and it is juicy.
That sounds awesome.
Juicy.
Now,
And inspiring.
So this is what we do here, right? We like to take people on this journey. We like to take people from start, just inception of that business. We like to talk about where you're at today with that business. And then, of course, we like to talk about what the plan is 5, 10, 20 years down the road. Now, obviously, we're talking about a tangible item that is out, that is complete. But obviously, as an author, there's always other things brewing. So we want to go down that journey with the folks. And you ready to rock with us, Rahkal?
I am ready. I'm here. I'm here with you.
Good deal. So let's do this. Take us back. Take us back in time. We hop in this DeLorean. We hitting 88 miles an hour.
DeLorean.
We're going back in time. Talk about where you were when you said, you know what? I need to put together dreams bigger than Texas. What was going on in your life at that moment?
Great question. I love it. It was March 7, 2007. I was 2 months away from graduating with my undergrad degree at the Texas Southern University.
Come on,
in video communications. And just the path that got me there, statistically, I shouldn't have been there. I could have been awarded the state, dead, incarcerated, just so many things. And I'm like, wow, this young kid from the south side of Chicago that have overcome so many things is here and about to graduate from high school. Graduate from high school, getting ready to graduate from college. So it was there. I knew that the story was impeccable, and I knew I needed to share it with someone else that may look like me, that may not look like me, that statistically you would have been counted out, but you're there and you're striving and you're dreaming bigger. So that's when the inception of it started, 2 months away from graduating, and I couldn't believe I was there. Incredible time in my life.
Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that were going on during that time, because obviously, and tell me if I'm wrong, KG, like those college times, when you're on that campus, there's so many different variables that go into making you the person that you are. Obviously, you come with this set of things, but you're now interacting with people on a whole different caliber,
Take you
right?
to a whole new level. You to a whole new level. And I'm guessing your exposure in Chicago, Chi-Town was in the house, right? And then you came on down to Houston, Texas. Not only did you come to school in Houston, Texas, you came to school at a HBCU.
Yes.
So
yeah, and the thing in my mom's house was you better not bring no babies home.
A GED.
Make sure you get your GED, and not realizing that saying get your GED was minimizing my potential down to a GED. Not that I would actually go away to school and graduate, but that's what she knew, and that's what she shaped and formed in our head. So both of my parents were substance abusers. I grew up in a domestically violent background and home. So just seeing those things, I never would have thought I would have saw academia, especially on that level. So it was definitely a journey getting there. And my overall goal is to inspire people that you too can defy odds. Your past doesn't define you, and your past doesn't define your future, and you can overcome anything. So just sharing a bit of my story. And I think through transparency, when we're transparent, we free other people because they know that, okay, I'm not in this alone. I don't have to be perfect. And other people are out there with similar stories. So,
that you just hit the nail on. That was a gem. We call those gems, right? Transparency. What was it? I was in the process of writing it. Transparency helps you release the story. I think that's what you said. Because that's so true. Because at that point, you now have someone you can relate with, to that's going through the same thing that either you just got of, or you're going through, or you're about to get into. So
one of those.
One of the three, right?
Yep.
So talk to us a little bit more about how did you get to that place of being transparent? How did you feel comfortable sharing, what some in our community would say are family secrets? Like no one wants to talk about substance abuse. No one wants to talk about poverty. Everybody wants to put on this facade like, oh yeah, I got it going on. And I came from a silver spoon, but that's not really the case. So what did it take for you to wrap your brain around the fact that, this is me and I'm gonna own it?
And I love that question because realistically, from a socioeconomic standpoint and looking at our communities, we're all at least 2, maybe 3, some of us 4 generations from being in poverty or having the same exact background or know someone that knows someone. I think for me, understanding my obligation was greater than my frustration. And I feel like
she dropped one right there. She dropped one. My
This
obligation was
was
greater than my frustration. I
And
heard
it
it.
is when you think about it,
Mm.
just being afforded the privilege, and not really afforded the privilege, but striving towards that, or being a first generation. This you got eyes on you, whether it's your little cousin, someone down the street, someone in the community. I am obligated, and that's bigger than any frustration. So I think understanding that for me, and then just the stuff I saw, I wanted better. I wanted the things that we could not have growing up, whether we can't afford this, we can't buy this, we can't do this, there's no vacations, we're sharing clothes, eating air sandwiches and all those type of things. I wanted
Air
more than
Air
that. And I
sandwiches.
think that produced about a hunger in me, a fight to just keep going. Like once I found out what was the alternative to a GED, I'm like, I want that. I don't want a GED. I want a high school diploma. I want a college degree. So for that understanding, my life isn't even about me, and there are people that are tied into their future as I achieve mine, or I work towards arriving to mine. They can't be who they're designed to be if I'm not in position, because we're all coincide together in some capacity.
So true. So just simply tied together in some capacity. So let me ask you this, right? Let's talk a little bit about some of those mistakes along the way. As an author, someone putting together this book. Now, was this your first book that you put together?
First book, and it was self-published.
Oh, okay, so yes. So let's dive deep
We
into
gotta
that.
talk about that.
At being self-published, walk us down that path of mistakes or lessons learned, things that happened along the way where you had to do some course correction. You were going one direction. You said, "Oh, you ran into a roadblock or stumbled over something." You had to make a slight adjustment so you can make sure that product came out.
Great question. I think just the decision of going my own independent route. At first I was sending out query letters. And of course, if you don't know someone, or if you don't have a million fans or followers, sometimes your message can get lost. People are more appeased with likes versus substance and content,
Whoa.
which is really depressing and sad, because, if I'm not twerking, or if and no shade to the twerkers, but if I have a million likes and followers, I'm more inclined to get a book deal just based on that, not the content of what I'm putting out, the lives that I'm touching and impacting. So with that, after sending query letters out and getting rejections and thinking like, dang, this book was 9 years in the making. I started it in '07, published it in 2016. And instead of getting discouraged, I was like, you know what? We're in a digital age. I work in media. I could produce some of these videos, so that decision there, that was one thing, just sending it out and getting rejected, and figuring out I need to do this myself. And I could look at the resources that I have, tap into who I know, and work to make something happen. So, yeah.
You know what is so funny about that is that the power was in your message just now. Like a lot of people would have just stopped. They would have thought, okay, well, maybe this is a sign I'm not supposed to do this. I'm done. Stick a fork in
Yeah.
me. Like, I started this thing in '07. It's 2016. Forget it.
Exactly.
But you kept on moving. You kept on persevering. And I know we're going to talk about finances, because I'm sure that played a large role in why you wanted to get with the publishing house. And now you have independently, I'm guessing Kickstarter was a part of this fundraising, so you can
Absolutely.
bring this book out to the masses. But interesting enough, this portion of the show is sponsored by some financial folks. It's the Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 million of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say they don't have enough savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today, like right now, at 1-844-700-4463, or email us at info@thehoustonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask us how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services.
Boom.
Boom.
There it is. There it is.
That's my peeps.
So let's talk a little bit more about this self-publishing. Like, what did that look like for you as an entrepreneur? That route that you took, was it something that you decided to build this inside of Apple's platform, or you decided, no, I want to go a different direction? What did the actual nuts and bolts of the creation look like?
Fortunately, well, my background education is in media production, so I've been producing for a while. So with that, just that skill of organization, and no, you don't have to be a producer. So for those of you that may be thinking about doing something, I guess my main advice, and I know I'm probably jumping the gun.
No, you're good.
There are so many people that will invest in you if you believe in you. Once they see that you're passionate, you're going, that momentum is rolling, you'll be surprised. People would actually want to pour in and, hey, I want to help that movement, even if it's this or that. I don't have any money, but I know someone that knows someone, or I can share your content. I think so. I just want to put that out there for sure. But the nuts and bolts behind it. One, just doing my research. Research is essential and key. People want to hop out there and do all these things, and you're destined to fail if you don't have your ducks in a row. If you haven't taken the time to research, model after the other people that are out there doing things that you want to do. Absolutely having some type of mentorship, even if you don't know them personally. It could be someone from afar, whether you're watching their YouTube videos or finding a way to glean knowledge. I think one major thing is too asking people their failures and their mistakes. Everyone want to know what's the key to success, but I want to know when did you fail? What did you do differently the next time, or what did you learn from that? So that way I could kind of take that with me. But Kickstarter was very, very fundamental. A lot of times people are afraid of kicking something off or creating a product. People don't have the resources. I think fear and resources. Fear and resources are like the top two. It's tap into your creativity. A lot of even my promo videos, I shot 3 unique video trailers and funded a tour on my own, whether I was flying to different cities to do radio interviews and television interviews. A lot of that, just take initiative and jump out there. No one's really going to move and believe in your product like you would. And if you want it, you've got to be creative and find ways to get it. But also people who are willing to invest in you. You just kind of never know. With the Kickstarter, I successfully fundraised over $9,000. And I was very strategic.
Congrats.
Thank you. I had a strategy. My strategy was, one, we're in a social media age. My birthday was coming up, right? So I did this really dope video trailer, and I decided to release it around my birthday. The whole time underground, I was building my website, building and setting things up. So once my birthday came around, you can get 200 happy birthday messages. So I stayed in the house my whole 32nd birthday, and I responded to every single birthday message and was like, hey, this is how I'm celebrating my birthday. So I kind of did a virtual online party to release it. Donate $5 to the Kickstarter, $10 to the Kickstarter. You can share the Kickstarter because, people buy you drinks or buy you whatever for your birthday. I'd rather invest it in my product. So yeah, I stayed home and I responded to every single message, sharing the link, posting the link, and then I kept people included. People want to know, what are you doing with the money? I was very transparent. I had a very detailed budget of where everything would go, and not only a detailed budget, keeping them weekly updates. This week we did this. We're almost there. Making people feel included and understanding that we are publishing this together. They were co-authors with me and publishing this product. And I took care of my supporters toward the end of it, whether it was all type of incentives. So those were some of the nuts and bolts. Traveling, and I worked overnight. So I would get off work at 6, 7 a.m. and fly out of town to DC, Chicago, wherever, Houston, do an interview, back on a flight, back at work the next night. So I didn't get any sleep. And that's what it takes.
That's what it takes, man.
Those are the type of stories and the things that it takes when you really want something passionately. you will find a way to make it happen, you know?
Yes, indeed. That's that tenacity.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
that's what that. See, this is why we do what we do, Facebook. This is why we do what we do. But guess what? If you want to get the rest of this, you're gonna have to go over and subscribe. So I just want to let y'all know we forewarned you that this is gonna be a hot episode. But we gotta let you go right now, Facebook, so we can keep this thing rolling. But remember, hop over to the website, thesphere.tv/startup masters. We've got 4 options for you: iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and of course Stitcher. We've got Stitcher available. Now we've got a couple of things coming down the pipe. We'll talk iHeart, we'll talk YouTube, we'll talk some other stuff at some point, but we'll just put the little bug in your ear. Now remember, when you get there, make sure you review this. Let people know what you like about our show. Hit the buttons, hit the stars, give us some constructive criticism so we can make a better show for you. Now also, share this thing out. Share it out with your family, your friends, your colleagues, your loved ones. Share it with your haters. Share it with anyone and everyone that you know so they can be aware of what we're doing here at Startup Masters. And last but not least, if you love what we're doing, donate to the cause. Sow seeds into us. We're over at thesphere.tv/donate. We've got 2 options for you: a single donation as well as a donation via Patreon if you want to do a monthly subscription, whether it's $2, $5, $10, whatever you want to do, because we give this to you absolutely free, but we want to continue to build our house so we can make a better home for you. Remember, Startup Masters will be up later tonight, if not tomorrow morning, so please subscribe so you can catch the rest of this episode. So, keeping this thing rolling, Rahkal, talk a little bit about where you are today as an author with the book, some of the things that you have coming down the pipe, some of the things that you have planned that are happening in your atmosphere today. Now, we're not necessarily talking future stuff, but today.
Wow, that's a loaded question. Today, I am building and actually working on a blog and laying the foundation for book number 2. In the course of publication of Dreams Bigger Than Texas, I've had some really interesting things happen in my life that has given me the content for book 2. There is always a number 2, but I'm definitely working on that and tightening up my blog and being active. I recently switched jobs, so just working and also resting as much as I can. 2016 was a very loaded year. Every day, no days off, getting that project off the ground. I ended the book with a really epic release party in Chicago. So
Nice.
I had bloggers there. I had media there. We sold out on a World Series weekend when the Cubs were in the World Series. It was a holiday weekend, and we still managed to pack out the art gallery. So I'm recuperating, but also building behind the scenes for project number 2.
I feel that.
And you're a corpreneur.
Yeah, you heard that?
I peeped that. I peeped that. You still in the corporate America game, because I'm guessing those contacts and those relationships that you build are easily transferred over to help with book number 2 and help continue to continue that journey down the road for book number 1, right?
That's the plan. It's who that helps to get you in the door, and what keeps you there. I agree.
And in terms of right now, we always talk a lot on this show, G, right, about relationship currency, and that's priceless, right? You can't put a price tag on relationship currency. Talk to us about today, I'm just curious what your relationship is like with your family. Have you been able to, because oftentimes, I listen to interviews and I watch and hear things from authors who have these type of memoirs, and the family necessarily, doesn't see it that way, or it might be some controversy around it, or whatever the case might be. So talk to us a little bit more and share with our viewers who are probably itching to tell the story, but they might be afraid of, like, what Uncle Bubba gonna say. Oh man,
Right.
what is Mama gonna do?
That's a great question. I think, one, there's a way to be tasteful. First of all, that's why it took so long, and I picked it up, restarted it, and I had to wait about 5 or 6 years to touch it again with fresh eyes. And I had to change so much content because there was still so much bitterness in me, and being mature enough to even say that. I think there's still a way to tell your story and how things affected you by the influence of others without telling their story or without talking about them specifically character-wise. You know what I mean? You can just express how they made you feel, or how that relationship influenced you in whatever way, whether good or bad, without getting to the meat of their story, because their story is not your story to tell.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, so being cautious of that, but at the same time, again, I think we're freed when we can embrace and own and tell our stories, because there's nothing anyone can say about me regarding my past because I've already shared it.
Yeah.
I've already got the one up and shared it, and I'm owning it. Yes, there's still uncomfortable spaces, specifically being a corporatepreneur, however you said it. That was really dope.
Thank you, thank you. And you use one of my favorite words of all time,
Dope.
dope.
Okay, okay. Being in a workspace, and people may grab my book, they'll flip it on page 65 and they're like, ooh, and I still have to go to work every day. I still have to be who I am and have this much vulnerability just kind of on the table. But for those that are out there thinking about writing their stories, your story is bigger than you. There are people out there that need to hear your story to be freed in their own little conundrum of whatever, good, bad, and the ugly. And until you release that, they can't be them. And then, of course, just being tasteful with it. Again, my book ended 2010. It didn't release until 2016. So it was 6 years apart. It wasn't fresh stuff. And a lot of stuff was really old and stuff people didn't really know about. So, they thought they knew me, even close family members, until they like, wow, I didn't know you were going through that. And that's another thing. You never know what people are going through. You can see the outside of what they give you or the facade or the mask they wear, and you can be surrounded by people and still be lonely or experiencing certain things. So those would be the nuggets I would give. My family, we're good. I have, I'll just leave it at we're good. We're good.
Well, that's good.
We're
We're going to leave it there.
Yeah, we'll just leave that right there. But obviously,
we're not going to advertise it.
At all, right? And we know, speaking of which, we know that that alley-oop that you just threw, we know that we've already heard how much advertising you've put in to get your book out there, flying across the country to get people to be aware of your content. And that awareness is important. And we do some awareness around here, and that's right at the Sphere. So this portion of the show is actually sponsored by the Sphere. Are you starting your business or looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at the Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States, as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv.
Come on, advertise.
So we know that you've done the advertising. We know that you've put in the work. We heard it. You've been flying around. You're telling stories that people don't even know exist, because sometimes we wear these different hats, these masks. And I know Future said we need to take the mask off. I know Kendrick added on to it, but sometimes it's hard.
Come on.
Sometimes it happens in the book. But what we want to know is when that mask is off, when you've broken away from the masses. What are you doing to sew back into self? How are you recharging your batteries? How are you staying fresh? How are you being the best Rahkal you can be?
Wow, that's powerful. I briefly touched on a lot of things have transpired that have given me content for book number 2. Since the book released, and you'll have to get the book to find out, some of these characters in the book, but since the book release, I became a mom of 2 children. So that happened in February. I recently took in my little brother and sister by my father that I did not have a relationship with. I learned these children existed. And I've been in full mother mode and practicing what I preach. If this goal of this book is to inspire people and to reach people from similar walks of life and background, to let them know that you too can overcome adversities. I'm not special. I'm special in my own way, but there's nothing. We have the same 24 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Come on, Beyonce.
If you're an able-bodied person, which in your right mind, you can do and achieve whatever it is that you want to do. So there's really no excuses with that. And being big on practicing, being who I post to be. You know what I'm saying? If this is who I post and I care about inner city youth, specifically youth from violent, drug abusive homes and backgrounds, to inspire and to reach them, it was a no-brainer. I mean, it's been a very tough and challenging space to kind of place my thing, my book, my projects, my life on hold to be a mom, an instant mother. But they need me, and I'm all about who I say I am. And so that's what I've been up to lately for the
Nice.
last 5 or 6 months. And in that, it's rewarding. It's a lot of things, but that's what I'm doing for Raquel. Well, really doing for them, but in a way, it still pleases me. I'm my best me when I'm serving other people.
No, you call it instant mother, right?
Instant mama,
Instant mama to two. And how old are these two?
9 and 11 years old.
Whoa, 9 and 11. So I'm guessing they're active.
Very.
Oh
Right.
my God. Oh my God.
And-
The act is an understatement.
And so on top of that, you're also still doing promo for the first book. You're
Yes.
starting your outline and starting to write on the second book.
Mm-hmm.
But if you remove all that, what are you doing specifically for Raquel to stay in your zone, to protect your creative space so you can write book 2, so that you can stay, as Chandra Rounds will call it, in your flow, as I call it, your juju, to make sure that you are not going to burn out those batteries and have a repeat of 2016 where you just go, 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 go?
A great question. And to be all transparency, I am still identifying that. I'm still identifying that. Of course, besides prayer, I am, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. That's my homeboy. So I do make sure that I am tapped into devotionals, daily devotionals. I'm a big fan of Sarah Jakes. I make sure I listen to something of hers in the morning, and just some reading as much as I can. And I have affirmations that I do. So that's my little juju, if you will.
Yeah,
But
that's the juju right there.
Yeah, you need that.
You
Yeah.
do,
That
because you're
keeps you
kicking off your
balanced.
day like that. Keeps you
Right.
balanced.
Mhm.
Wars off any craziness that might transpire during that day.
I agree.
There's
I
always some
'Cause there's
craziness
always some
lurking
crazy.
around the corner.
Like
But-
lurking.
Exactly.
Wait.
But hey, he is greater than I. I think that's on your arm right there, right?
Yep, I was gonna say, how did you
I
know
love that. I
Yep.
love
That's
that.
dope. That's dopeness.
Yeah, that's some
and so
dopeness
it's-
right
but
there.
It's,
Look
that's
at you,
real.
observant.
Yeah, that's real. That's real stuff, though. So let's do this. We took the DeLorean back in time.
Now, what we taking in
Okay.
the future? Where we going?
I mean, hey,
What we rolling in?
Let's take
Put
this.
us in something
we're
nice.
gonna take. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Come
I'm not
on,
gonna do
come
that
on.
for the folks. We're gonna stay in the DeLorean, with Mr. Fusion in the back. Let's take it to the future a bit. Let's talk a little bit about what you see coming down the pipe in the next 5, 10, 20 years from now. We're talking, 2035. Where is Raquel sitting? What type of dreams that were bigger than Texas then, perhaps bigger than the world now? Talk about it a little bit.
Well, on the cosmetic side, I definitely, I see myself an NAACP Image Award winner, a CNN
Come on.
hero,
Nice.
Black Girl Magic recipient.
Come on.
I'm really passionate about serving other people. My bigger picture is to start a nonprofit organization specifically tailored to inner city youth and to teach them media, expression, production, ways to have their own voice heard and ways to be their own gatekeepers, and just to inspire them that they too can dream bigger. So I see a successful nonprofit organization that is breathing and birthing new generations of fighters and dream chasers. I see New York Times bestseller list.
Come on.
I see me on Oprah's Super Soul
Come
Sunday.
on, Super Soul Sunday.
You
We
know?
talk about Super Soul Sunday on this show so much. Seriously, Raquel.
really?
Like,
Yeah, for real.
somebody on this show better make it. All right.
Somebody.
And so again, I say those are cosmetic things because, they're cosmetics. But what's most fulfilling to me is inspiring people and hear the testimonies of people that's like, man, I came across your book, or man, my son was in your program, or, I wanted to give up, but I saw your story and your tenacity, and I don't have it all figured out together. With this character in the book, you see the rise, the fall, you hate her, you're in love with her, you're like, oh, why does she keep, but I want people to be inspired. That is my overall goal, to inspire people to dream, chase, defy odds, and to rewrite their own story.
If
I
you-
love that.
I mean, it's so. it's just so powerful, and it's refreshing. Refreshing is probably the word I'm looking for, to be able to relate and connect with someone who truly is just like so transparent about, like, I don't have it all figured out, but hey, look, we're gonna share this thing together.
Right.
Now let's say, and we're still in this DeLorean that he put us in and took us into the future. I don't know why we ain't changed cars yet, but
Because that's it's a classic, man. It's classic.
if you took a glimpse into the future, like, what would it look like in terms of success? Like, if you can categorize what success will look like for Rahkal Shelton, what would that look like? Like, walk us through where you are, what you're doing, and what it looks like.
And it goes back to the last point. Success is knowing that I have made tangible, physical, emotional impact on people. To hear the testimonies of people that I don't know, that does not look like me, from different races, creeds, age demographics, to say that, hey, I can relate to this character. Hey, my life is changed and inspired. That's success for me. And then the cosmetic things. I do want some of my plaques and awards to sit somewhere on my little banister somewhere. So yeah, that would be success. Just changing lives and inspiring people and being happy and healthy. You know, there are some things within my family that I aspire to continue to work through and to see, you know, us all connected and loving. Part of the book, of course, was to bring about some healing from some of my past, and to maybe inspire other families to have those open and honest conversations that would bring about healing as well.
That's it right there. It's healing. You know, it doesn't get any better when you come to heal a family, to break generational potential curses, you know.
Talk about it.
To me, that's success, you know. Like, it don't get any better than that, G. It don't get any better than that, Rahkal, you know, because you're sparking a global transformation with what you're doing, because it's bigger than your family, because there's people who we all know who are perhaps have gone through the same thing that you've written about in your book. So I really applaud you for that.
Hats off, man.
Yeah,
my hat is on, but hats off. Hats off.
Keep that hat on.
You know, it's so powerful as an, you know, to be an author, you know, to be a content creator. And that's really what you're doing. You're creating content and you're sharing a story that, as you mentioned, is transformative. It's taking people from a place to know, one, you're not alone.
Right.
And then two, if this person can do it and make it through, then perhaps I can too. You know, you may not, you don't know how many lives you may have already saved just by sharing your dream, sharing your being transparent. Like you mentioned earlier, that transparency is so important.
Yeah,
so important, man.
You know what else is really important?
Talk about it.
A really good smile.
A good smile.
With some nice teeth.
Nice teeth. Healthy gums.
I mean, you know, I figured that would be a good way to kick off
Why not?
this advertisement that G talked about, because this portion of the show is sponsored by our good friends at Elite Dental Wellness.
Ding.
At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are a part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and even uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Ashandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness at 713-789-8680. And I hear if you mention
the Sphere,
you get 10% off.
Can't beat that. Put a little coin back in your pocket. Shout out to Mario. Put a little coin in your pocket,
okay,
man.
Just a little bit.
Rahkal, this has been an honor and a privilege to have you on, to have these conversations.
Yeah, it is.
Before we wrap up, I want to ask, I've got a couple of final questions. One, for somebody who's walking this same walk that you are, that's unsure about going the you know, big boy route of having someone to publish their book, maybe considering Kickstarter, Indiegogo, looking at the possibility of doing some self-publishing, writing it themselves, and, you know, on whatever platform they choose, and publishing it through iTunes or through Amazon or anywhere. What kind of gems would you give them from cover to cover? Sort of, no pun intended. But what kind of gems would you share to help a fellow author get their story out and be shared?
I would first say definitely assess your why. If you're trying to do it for the glitz and glam to, or just to be seen, once you get seen, that's what you're going to get. But if your why is greater, then you're not shaking or move if you don't sell 5,000 books in the first 2 months. If no one ever likes or share your stuff, if your goal was to get it out there, to one, just to be done with it, and then maybe two, you want to get it out there, but not only that, you want to actually inspire people, even if it was one or two people. Congratulations, you've done what you set out to do. So the main thing I would say is assess your why. Definitely at the beginning, I think at the beginning of that, assess your why. And as you're going through the process, because you're going to get frustrated, you're going to hit a few walls, go back to your why and why you started. If you remember why you started and just kind of keep that in the forefront of whatever you're doing, I feel like you can definitely get it done. And how bad do you want to see this through? People want results, but they don't want to put in the work. Your work is going to that's real. Your work is going to set you apart.
Yeah,
so how
it
bad
is.
do you want it, and why do you want it? Those would be the things I would definitely say, and then go for it. As cliche as it sounds, you can't make any shots if you do not take them. You just can't, because if you don't throw the ball up, you never know if it's going to go in there.
So true.
Even Jordan had bad games.
Bad
Yep.
years.
Bad
Let's
years.
keep it a buck. Like Bad Boy had some
everybody-
seasons that were off.
He had some seasons, plural. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody want to remember
Yeah.
when he was, with the flu, playing with the flu, and he
Uh-huh.
was hitting all
Yep.
these game-winning
And the
shots. But
cigar
people
and the
forget
hat.
what it took for him to get there, too.
And it wasn't just him.
Exactly.
It wasn't it.
Shout
He
out
had
to Pippen.
Scotty.
Shout out to Rodman.
He had
Shout
Kerr.
out to Kerr. I mean, there was a team
Okay,
of
it
them.
was a
Shout out to the
team.
coach. I mean, there's
Can't do it on your own.
You can't do it on your own.
Come on, Phil.
That's good. That's good. I mean, and I just have to say, there's no one's an island. This whole concept of I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna fall back, I don't need anybody. Grow up. Grow up. There's literally no islands. We're all interconnected in some capacity, in some way, and until you understand that and what you bring to the table, you miss out.
There it is.
There it
You
is.
miss out. So, last but not least,
Hit it with it, G.
I'm gonna hit you with this. Let's keep the airplanes grounded
Okay.
to Chicago, to Houston, DC, LA, Miami. Let's take the internet access away. Let's unplug the cable. The broadband is no longer broadened. It's slim. It's a slim band now.
Okay.
Let's take away the manuscript. Let's take away the rough drafts. Let's take away Microsoft Word, WordPad, Pages. Let's take away all the access. Let's take away Amazon, the opportunity for you to even get it out there. Let's take all those things away from you. Let's take the book back to just a thought. But let's leave you with the memories of everything that you've created. And we're going to slide you some seed money. Let's say $1,000 or so. Knowing what you know now, how would you have done things differently to start this project? What would you have done with that $1,000 as seed money?
Wow. That was a great setup because I didn't know where this was going. And then two, without social media, without all of that, I think with that seed money, I would have went to bookstores and found more genres similar to mine, read those, and tried to identify who their publicists were. And maybe saw some snail mail stuff, wrote letters to those publicists for advice.
Okay.
So yeah, I would have went to the bookstore and bought books that was similar to my genre, reached out to everyone they say in the acknowledgments, or of course, publishing companies, and I would have reached out. I think that's definitely one thing I would have done differently. Yeah.
That's what's up. I like that.
Yeah.
Going back, sewing back into yourself and getting the resources that you need. Doing the research.
And you're doing the research
Come
to get
on.
the resource.
Mm-hmm.
Call
I
that
like
R&R
that.
around here.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we've heard something like that
We
yet.
haven't?
Yeah, but hey, yeah, that Rahkal C. Shelton. That's what you get.
That's what you get
Things
when
you hadn't had
Skyping
before.
in. You just
Yeah.
dropping nuggets and
gems left and
knowledge.
right. She said a few things. She got some nuggets on her arm. I mean,
Bam.
she's got it. She's got it, folks. And this is what we're talking about right here. This is Dreams Bigger Than Texas by proud author Rahkal C. Shelton. Rahkal, let people know where they can get your project from, anywhere and everywhere.
You can go to dreamsbiggerthantexas.com to order the book directly, or it is on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon. You can go to Amazon or specifically to dreamsbiggerthantexas.com. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Carla Danielle. That's RCARLADANIELLE. You can connect with me there.
There it is. Well, before we leave you, we'd like to officially, around this town, coin you, my dear, a startup master. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We appreciate it. We appreciate the love, the dedication, the passion, and we can't wait to see where you take us next.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Many blessings and much success for what you're doing. I appreciate that. I love it. I'm floored by it, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Good deal. Good deal. And
Thanks
of course,
coming on.
KG, where can the good people reach you at, my dear?
Good people, you guys can reach me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at KOG Speaks. That's KOG Speaks on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. What about you, G?
And of course, I'm anywhere and everywhere online. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn as well, at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with the Z, maybe even MySpace. I mean, I'm at a few other places. You just never know. You never know with me. But remember, if you got any questions about anything you've heard today, want to get some insight, anything, shoot us an email. Startupmasters@thesphere.tv or on any social media platform @thesphere.tv. #StartupMasters, and we'll be sure to get right back with you. This has been another great episode of Startup Masters. We will see you all next time. Take care.
Peace.